Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I've dug something out of the attic. Now, every now and again I get a comment or someone mentions a project I started a very long time ago and it kind of got thrown on a back burner, and then it kind of got buried at the very back of the attic, and I had to go and get something else from up there. And as I was shifting boxes, I actually came across the box. What we've got here, this is my ZX81 project, and this goes all the way back. The last time I actually did anything on this project, believe it or not, was 2018. Essentially what I've got in here, well, what we'll do is I'll reset the camera up and we can go through this box, because even I have forgotten how far I got with this project. I actually just been and re-watched my last video I did on this, and I can't remember if I did anything after that which I hadn't filmed, and I was going to make another video, and like I said, it just kind of got put on the back burner. And I do sort of kind of want to get this thing, if not completely finished, into some kind of functional state, so I can actually set it up in the workshop down here and play about with it. So I'll get the camera set back up and we can take a look what's in this box. So back in a sec. Right, okay, that's better. You can actually see the box now. So let's make a start. What have we got here? Right, this is the power supply I was actually intending to use for the project. If I remember correctly, this came out of a piece of Sony AV equipment. It was a Sony AV switcher which I broke up for spare parts. If I remember correctly, this has got a good 12 volt, you know, it's a decent 12 volt switch mode power supply. It should be plenty man enough for what we want. I think it outputs something like 4 amps, so it'll easily drive the screen and drive everything else we want to actually put in this project. So that will need checking out as well, because I'm not actually even sure. Well, it should still function. It functioned, and that's why I used it, is because it was a good functional power supply, and it's only sat for a few years, so I can't see any reason why it's not going to work. But we will check this out before we actually put it into service with the project. So we've got a power supply, and then we've got the main. Hang on. In fact, let's get the other stuff out of here first, and then we can go to the main part. Ah, right, yeah. What we've got here. Oof. If I can get it out. No, I'm going to have to get this out first and then get that out, because I can't get it out of the damn box otherwise. So let's slide the actual computer out. Can't remember what that's for. Right. And we can get this out of the box now, I think. There we go. Right. Move that out of harm's way. And this is the first thing, really. This is a ZX81 Memotech aftermarket keyboard, which is what I decided to use with this project, because it suits the look of it and everything, and I had it. It may be possible to do something else apart from that, use that interface. I'm not sure. What I was originally planning to do was just use this interface inside the actual box. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that way or not, actually. There is other ways we could do that. But yeah, basically that's the keyboard that we plan to use with this project. Here is the computer itself. Now, I'm sure this thing had little feet that made it stand up like that, but I must have been imagining it. But essentially what we've got here is that's the screen out of an old security camera, which for some reason the colour had stopped working on it. It was originally a colour screen, but it works fine with the black and white signal up it. That's why I've used it in this project. But I'll slide this out. Like I said, this is where I'm not 100% sure how far I had got with the project. Right, we can get that. Oh, it does have little feet. I thought it did. It has little feet that pop up out of the bottom of the case. Oh yeah, that one's a bit stiff, but they do work, so it can stand up like that. Right, I'll put that out of the way for now. And then we've actually got the computer itself. So we've got a, what rev is that? I'm not 100% sure. Oh, it's an issue 3. ZX81 main board in there. Modifications it's had done to it. It's basically got 16k of RAM on board. This is what that little data board there is. Those wires across there are just going to the address lines there. Basically they connect to the address lines to give us was it A10, A11 and A12 I think. It's whatever address lines basically the original 1K that was on board don't need. You have to pick them up from somewhere, and I've just picked them straight up off the Z8 CPU there. The screen, like I said, is fairly simple. We've just got the driver board on the back there. I think it runs on something like 8 volts. That's where I've got an additional little voltage reg on the back. As for that, I think that's pretty much it. Now I'm just wondering how much work it's going to need to actually get this thing powered up and see if it actually does still work. So I'm guessing that's what I was using at the time to power it. We've just got a DC jack there. That goes to that little board there. That's got that what's that? It's a I think that's a 7808 there. Is it an 08 or an 09? Yeah, it's a 7808 there. That's for the screen. We've got a 7805 there, which is for the ZX81 itself. And we've got them both connected together, so I think if we put 12 volts up that should have it powered up. I don't appear to have the screen connected. I'm guessing that's what those two wires are there. One will be ground and one will be the actual screen. I think that yellow wire is composite video. I seem to remember I definitely did modify this for composite output rather than the modulator. In fact, if we take the top off the modulator, we can have a quick look and see what we've done in there. It's that long since I actually did anything with this project. I'm guessing I've put some kind of little transistorized amplifier. Yes. Yeah, there's a very basic little composite mod in there with a transistor, a couple of diodes and a resistor. There are far better ways of doing a comp mod to a ZX81 nowadays. So I might actually go back and do something else there. It depends what the image is like on screen actually. If it's working well enough, I'll leave it. But yeah. Right, well, what I will do, I could try one of these monitors, I suppose. We could try anything to actually get an image off it. I'm guessing we've just got composite video on that lead there. bear with me a sec, folks, and I'll see what I can do about sorting a suitable power supply out, and we'll see whether this thing actually still fires up. So back in a sec. Right, okay, I've got 12 volts from an old ATX power supply there. I couldn't find a connector on a actual 12 volt thing that actually fit. That centre pin's a bit wider than standard. It's not like you'd find on a Spectrum. It's, like I said, it's a little bit wider. That. Let's lash this up anyway. This should work. We'll connect that on there. We'll connect that to there like that. That should give us our 12 volts. Now if we switch on, I can't remember how I've actually got all this wired up. I think I've actually got a switch where I can switch the computer and the monitor separately. I can't remember how I actually did it. Anyway, let's switch on. Ah, well, the screen works anyway, that's one thing. Actually, I don't think we've got any video connectors. Let me just... Is anything coming out there? That's our contrast for the screen. Something, hang on. We've got two wires coming off there. If I touch on that one, there's something there, isn't there? Nearly. Look at that. We've actually got a K there. We've got a cursor up. Actually, this there. Oh, look at that. That's actually quite. That's not bad at all. That's actually quite readable. Obviously, I'm just holding them wires together a little. let me just twist these together. There we go. That's not too bad. Obviously, we know signal's not being grounded there. Let me try and ground that out, see if that improves anything or not. No, it doesn't really make a difference. We've got a reasonable cursor there. Let me get you down so you can actually see what's happening on screen. So back in a sec. Come on, focus. There we go. Right, okay. Hopefully you'll be able to see this a little bit better now. So the way I've got this set up is I've got the computer and the monitor on separate switches. So we flick that first one up there. That brings the monitor on. I think the reason I did that is because I wanted the idea I was going to fit some jacks on the back of the actual system when it's finished, so I can use the screen independently of the actual computer, and I can also have an output so I could put the computer onto a bigger monitor than this. I think that's where I got up to anyway. Let's switch the computer on itself. Now that's fairly normal for a ZX81. Now, do you notice it took a little bit of time to actually bring the cursor up then? That's simple due to the fact that this thing's got 16K on board rather than the original 1K. So that was one of the things I really wanted from this, was when I built it, I didn't want to actually stick a RAM pack in. Now, why is it done? Okay, so we definitely have some issues because... Try switching off and back on again, see if it does that again. Let's reset now, but it's obviously this thing's got some issues because it just crashed just sitting there. So that could be my... Yes, it's obviously that RAM pack, that little RAM adapter that I made. Because as soon as I went anywhere near it, then it crashed. Let's try again. Right, so as you can see, it's come on, but it's not actually brought us any cursor up, so we've definitely seemed to have a RAM issue. So it's got to be this little RAM board that I created, not probably not seating very well. Has that fixed it? There we go. So we've got some intermittency there. Yeah, in fact, that's me just touching the top of the chip. So I wonder if it's a bit of interference that's causing that. It's something we can certainly look at. A reset does bring it back though. I suppose we better connect the keyboard up and see if we can actually type something on this thing. So let's do that. Let's bring a keyboard in. We'll connect this Memotech keyboard back up. Oops, wrong way. Let me get you zoomed out so you can actually see what's going on here. That's better. We'll get this Memotech keyboard connected up. We'll switch off. We'll switch that switch and that switch. So this isn't an ideal solution, having this whole thing just in here, but for the time being it'll do for getting it working, and then we can look at doing something better than this. But that does actually fit inside the case, and it does plug on correctly. Right, let's try that again. So we'll switch the monitor on, switch the computer on. Hopefully it'll boot up. There we go. So let's try Hello World. We might as well, mightn't we? So we've got a bad yeah, we've definitely got some work cut out on this thing. That's the RAM crashing again. That's working again. It looks like zeros failed on the keyboard. I can't get that to, but that watch doesn't matter actually. Print, and we want shift. E doesn't work. So we've got hello. Where's space? Right, I don't know what happened. Because that was meant to be a space. That is definitely working as space. I don't know what's wrong with that. Let's try again. One, print, and shift, quote marks. Space. The space worked that time. Right, hold. That's what we've got up there. But obviously we've got issues with some of the keys. We're going to have a look at some of the keys on this thing. Let's see if we can close the quotes. It'd just be really nice to actually get one thing to run on this at the moment. Function new line. Alright, that's actually gone in. Then we can use 2. Then we can go go to. Where's go to on this? So you can tell how long it is since I there's go to. Go to 1 because we can't use 10. Function new line. It's actually gone in there. Then we should be able to hit run. And of course run doesn't work. Lovely. So we've built onto our program, but we can't actually run it because the run key on the keyboard doesn't work anymore. Damn it. And I'm pretty sure I actually went through this keyboard and got this keyboard all functioning last time I worked on this. So 4 years of sat in the attic and inactivity, and the keyboard no longer functions correctly. So unfortunately, even though it's allowed us to type the program in, we can't run it. That's a bit of a shame really. But can you actually see on there? See, I can't see on that screen whether you can see what's on that screen there. I'll try and get you down a bit, see if you can, if this will help. This camera is not good at there, you can pick that up now, can't you? Yeah, you can actually see what we've managed to print on the screen there. But like I said, unfortunately, seeing the keyboard's playing up, I can't run it because our button doesn't work anymore. But the important thing is, all the main parts of the computer are actually still working. I mean, we've got a 40-year-old ZX81 inside this thing. Oops, there we go. Let's get you out a bit more. That's better. We've got a 40-year-old ZX81 inside this. Obviously, the ULA. In fact, let's feel that. That ULA is reasonably warm, but it's not actually mad hot. The Z80 CPU is hardly warm, really. The ROM's fine. We weren't expecting the ROM to be bad, but we do need to get a heatsink on that ULA, because obviously it is a working ZE ULA, and they are failing. So plus the nice thing is, with it being in this case, there's plenty of space. I can put a nice big heatsink on there, and it's not an issue. It's not like when it's actually in the ZX81 case, where you know, it's like a 48K Spectrum. You're seriously limited to what heatsink you can actually stick on there. We're obviously going to have to address this memory error, this memory problem. Yeah. As soon as I went near the RAM there with the back of my finger there, you saw it crash instantly. Switch off. Switch back on. Hopefully it'll come back up. Yeah, it's come back up. I'm pretty sure if I touch it again, yeah, we saw that. I didn't even actually touch the chip. I just got my finger near it. So we have got some issues there that we need to address. Again, that's not booted correctly. Switch back off. And it's come back up again now. So when the RAM seems to be working, it's just very unstable. There's something around there which is causing, that's definitely causing issues. And obviously, like I said, this keyboard is going to be a major issue as well. So, plan of action for this thing. So I actually got something I want to use this for. I've got an idea. I want something I saw online. I want to try. It needs a ZX81. I have got other ZX81s. I've got, you know, nice proper unmolested ZX81s, which I could use. I could use for this project, but I'd quite like to get this finished and working, and that gives me an excuse to actually fiddle about with this thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. This was just a quick reintroduction to the project. Like I said, it's 2018 since I actually last did a video on this thing. Hopefully it's not going to be another 4 years before you see another video on this. I do intend to actually get on with this, like I said, and actually get it fully functional. So I think the next video we'll probably do on this is seeing if we can sort this keyboard out so we can actually input things into the computer. Because what I want to be able to do is be able to poke the RAM and actually make sure that I actually do have 16K available. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Like I say, it's easy enough to do, providing I've got a working keyboard. So that's the first thing we need to sort out, is sort the keyboard out. The next thing, once we've sorted the keyboard out, is I need to sort that RAM out. We can't have it literally where I just go near the RAM with my finger like that and the computer crashes. So we definitely need to do some. We definitely need to do something about that. To come on. You're saying it's completely killed it. Come on. Hello. There we go. It's booted back up again. Yeah. So we need to do something about that. And possibly, like I said, we can see if we can do away with that. Memotech keyboard interface, because we're not using the keyboard interface actually on the board. There should be no reason why we can't rewire this keyboard just to use the standard Spectrum keyboard interface on there, and then we can do away with that RAM pack sorry, not the RAM pack, that's because Memotech were famous for making 16k RAM packs for the ZX81. They made ones that were far better than Sinclair did. I think they even made them up to like 64k or that, something like that. I think it was 64k was the biggest Memotech RAM pack you could get for a ZX. Oh, so this was another of their offerings. Anyway, like I said, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, in the next video, we'll probably tackle the keyboard, get the keyboard working, and we will possibly have a look at seeing what we can do with the RAM on board. See if we can get that stable so it doesn't keep crashing every time I go anywhere near the RAM with my finger. And then we can, like I said, we can crack on a bit more with the project. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this reintroduction into this. Perhaps go and watch some of my older videos. I mean, they're not, I don't say they're any worse than this, because I don't think I've really improved much in my YouTube abilities. Yeah, go back to like 2018 and watch them. I think there's like 3 or 4 videos I've done on this previous to this. Watch them if you want, and then we'll crack back on with this. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.